I do this weekly. It's one of my things. On Tuesday morning, I look at the rankings of CBS, Fox, Washington Post.
You're talking NFL power rankings?
Yeah, power rankings. And the Broncos and the Pats are 1-2.
Broncos have shot up the charts with a bullet.
But nowhere are they number one. They are number 2 to the Patriots. And I think that's probably right.
I get that, yeah.
When they meet Thanksgiving weekend, will they both be 10-0?
There's a good chance. There's a really good chance. I mean, we looked at the Green Bay game and the Indianapolis game back to back. Green Bay at home, Indy on the road, thinking they'd probably come out of at least one of those games with a loss. I think they go into Indy next week and they win again. And then they're home against the Chiefs and the Raiders, right? Isn't that what comes next? Or the Raiders and the Chiefs?
The Chiefs, and then they go to Chicago.
Chicago. And then you've got the Patriots. If I had to bet right now, I'd bet the Broncos are going to be undefeated going into that game, and I think New England will be too.
Here's what I think is going to happen. I think the Broncos are going to be 10-0. I think the Patriots are going to be 9-1.
Who are they losing to?
The Giants.
It's at New York. Yeah. That's such an unpredictable team, the New York Giants.
Don't you think
that's
the
Giants
thing with them? If the Giants were going to get up, I know division games, Eagles, Cowboys, they got even Washington. I think the Giants in New York, that crowd, anti-Patriots, because I look and see that truthfully, there are only 3 games left for the Patriots they can lose.
They have a tough end of the season schedule. They play at the Jets and at Miami to finish the season.
Miami.
They're also at the Giants. They've got one other tough one on the road.
No, they don't. They play the Texans.
Is it the Texans on the road?
They play dog. Okay. But they play the division teams. They got Buffalo at home. They have 3 games they can lose. At the Giants, at the Broncos.
Oh, that's the other one. At Denver. Yeah.
And at the Jets. They got to go to New York twice. The Jets played them as well as any team could have.
Yeah.
If that game had been in New York, I think maybe the Jets could win. So they have the possibility of losing 3. I think they'll lose a couple. The Broncos and the Giants. That's what I think. And the Jets could. I mean, they could end up 13-3. They're going to end up 13-3, 14-2. The Broncos, as I look at it, have gotten such a break. Andrew Luck could throw 5 or 6 interceptions against the Broncos.
I was thinking the same thing looking at that, yeah.
The Bears aren't any good. The Bears will get up for that game. It's Cutler, the Fox, and Gase. That is going to be their game. That is their homecoming game. That is their rival. That's their CU Nebraska game, is to play the Broncos and knock the Broncos off.
And it's late November in Chicago on the lake.
So that's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough game, I think. I think going to San Diego, that Mike McCoy will have his homecoming kind of game. And the Chargers
Mike McCoy might be fighting for his coaching life,
too.
The
Chargers always play the Broncos well. Phillip Rivers always plays well against the Broncos. So that's an issue. You know, at home against the Patriots, at home against Cincinnati. So the Broncos, at the worst, are going to be 12-4. So that New England game is going to be a big, big game for the number 1 seed, except I give you that the Bengals may not lose a game.
True. True.
Except, may not. They're going to lose this week.
Green Bay. Green Bay?
No, Arizona.
Arizona. Oh, I'm thinking Carolina has Green Bay.
So I would say I looked at all the schedules to see who's the next to fall. You know,
right.
And I think it's going to be Cincinnati. I think they can go. I thought they were going to lose in Pittsburgh, but I also didn't think that Pittsburgh was going to soil the bed as they did.
Right.
And Dalton threw 2 interceptions. You know, he never loses in the daytime, he only loses at night. But they're going to Arizona. Arizona's a good team. Whether you admit or agree with me that they're a Super Bowl type team, Arizona's a good team, well coached, good quarterback, who stayed healthy.
It just feels like there's something missing there for me.
Okay. All right. Well.
Yeah. But they're a good team. I got them in my top 6, which we'll talk about later in the show.
So the Broncos and the Patriots could be 10-0. How many teams have ever been 10-0 that have faced in the history of the NFL?
I'm going to guess none.
None. When was another question for you? What were the Patriots after Spygate? the year after
They
Spygate.
went 16-0, I believe.
So what have we got going on right now? This is
Deflate
the year
game.
after Deflategate.
Yeah.
So that's why, and I read the Boston Globe. Globe doesn't believe that going undefeated is really a good idea for the Patriots. Do you think it's a good idea to go undefeated?
I've always felt that the pressure builds to a point where there's relief from the players and the coaching staff when they finally lose a regular season game. I remember going through it with the Broncos back in 1998. They were 13-0. The pressure kept building and building and building. And once they lost that first game to the New York Giants, Amani
at
Toomer
New York.
making that catch in the end zone, I felt like somebody had punctured a balloon and all the air came out, and then they were able to relax.
Do you think Mike Shanahan, and you're close to him, do you think Mike Shanahan, I doubt you've ever asked him in recent times, do you think he was happy they would have lost the game?
No, I don't think any coach is ever happy they lose a game. But I think, and I haven't asked him that question, but I think if I were to ask him that question this weekend, he'd probably say it was a good thing we did lose. But in the moment, no coach wants to lose.
Because they
You
went
know
on and
that.
won the Super Bowl, so you don't really care if you lost 3 or 4 games.
I mean, it'd be great to tie the 72 Dolphins and be the only undefeated team to win a Super Bowl, but so
Sure.
what?
I would like to be the coach that's remembered that way. If I'm Mike Shanahan and I'd finished undefeated that year, I think he'd be a no-brainer for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I think he's, because of the problems in Washington,
Yes.
because of the way he finished here, I think he's borderline at best.
But if you go back and you look at some of the coaches in the Hall of Fame, Mike's numbers already
Sure.
are better than theirs. Total wins, Super Bowl wins, playoff appearances, the whole deal. That segment brought to you by Cooney Lexus of Greenwood Village, Colorado's #1 volume Lexus dealer. They're located at I-25 in Bellevue. We know that because that's where we buy our cars, Woody and I. View current specials, view a large selection of new and certified pre-owned vehicles. Go to CooneyLexus of GreenwoodVillage.com.